Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. We are back in better than ever, and today we are going to take on trigonometric equations in quadratic form. We got the classic band, the legendary Birds, singing Tambourine Man. Let's get to it, shall we? Alrighty then. So, just got two examples for you. It's solving a quadratic equation, really, except instead of 2x squared plus x minus 1, something like that, we have sines and cosines to deal with. Not a big deal, okay? Maybe it freaks you out a little bit. So I'm going to rewrite A right here. So we have to solve 2 sine squared x plus sine x is equal to 0. Now, if you can't look at that and figure out how to factor it, I suggest you let your favorite variable, I'm going to go with n, let n equal sine of x. Okay, so then instead of 2 sine squared of x, I have 2n squared plus n equals 0. Well, you can factor that. You can solve that easily. You know, or you can see here that each term has an n in common. So n times 2n plus 1 would be equal to 0. ZPP, you better have said it. ZPP, yeah, you know me. All right, so using the ZPP, we can say n is equal to 0, or 2n plus 1 is equal to 0. Solving this, we get n equal to -1/2. But hold the phone, Chuck. We're not interested in n, we're interested in sine. So at this point, I can replace n with sine and say, okay, sine x has to be equal to 0, or sine x has to be equal to -1/2. Okay? Take a look at my range. It's from 0 to 2 pi inclusive. So maybe you need to sketch a unit circle. And at this point, you should know how to do it because we know how to solve trigonometric equations. So we're asking ourselves, where does sine equal 0? Well, sine equals 0, at pi, and then again at 2 pi. Don't forget the 2 pi, because 2 pi is included in the domain. Okay? And then I'll draw another one so it doesn't get crowded to see where sine is equal to -1/2. Well, we know, or we should know, that sines are 1/2 or -1/2 at our pi over 6's. And sine is negative in quadrants 3 and 4, so that would occur at 7 pi over 6 as well as 11 pi over 6. In other words, sine of 7 pi over 6 is -1/2, and sine of 11 pi over 6 is -1/2. So, easy peasy. We have our solutions, and we should list them in order. X is equal to 0, pi, 7 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, as well as 2 pi. Easy peasy. All right, let's do this one, okay? 2 cosine squared x. I got it on the next page, so we'll do B, okay? So 2 cosine squared x plus cosine x minus 1 equals 0. And again, we are going to, if we're intimidated by the cosine thing here, we can go ahead and let n equal cosine x to something we're more comfortable with. So instead of 2 cosine squared x, we would have 2n squared plus n minus 1 equals 0. And so we're going to factor that. So that would be equal to 0. We would have a 2n and an n. And factors of 1 are only 1, so we need to make sure that the positive is being multiplied by the 2 because the middle term here is a positive 1n. So the plus 1 is going to go here and the minus 1 is going to go here. If you're not sure about that, go ahead and expand it. 2n times n is 2n squared. 2n times 1 is plus 2n, minus 1 times n, 2n minus 1n is positive n, and of course a negative 1 times a positive 1 is a negative 1. So now, ZPP, yeah, I heard you, good. 2n minus 1 is equal to 0, so n could be equal to 1/2. And then, of course, n could be equal to negative 1, with n plus 1 equal to 0. So, again, I'm not interested in what n is equal to. I'm interested in what cosine is equal to. So we'll replace n with cosine x is equal to 1/2. Also, cosine x could be equal to negative 1. No big whoop. Let's take a look at our unit circle, remembering our domain is from 0 to 2 pi inclusive. So here's my unit circle here. And where is cosine x equal to 1/2? Cosine is 1/2, if you recall, at our pi over 3s. It's plus or minus 1/2. So it's positive 1/2 at pi over 3. And of course, cosine is positive in the first and the fourth quadrants. It's to the right of the y-axis. So that's going to be whatever the pi over 3 is down here, which is 5 pi over 3. Okay, in other words, cosine of pi over 3 equals 1/2, and cosine of 5 pi over 3 equals 1/2. And where's cosine equal to negative 1? Well, there's only one spot here, and that is at pi. Cosine equals negative 1 at pi. So there are all of our solutions. So x would be equal to, in order, pi over 3, pi, and 5 pi over 3. All right, so that should not be a big deal for us. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. And with that, I am out!